Assalamu alaikum everyone, and a very good morning to you all. Welcome to World This Morning. I'm Maha Mukhtim, and I hope you have your teas and your coffees ready because we have one great show lined up for you today. But before we start on with the great show, we have someone else who'd like to say hello.
All right, the name is Hazar Khan. Assalamu alaikum. A very good morning and a very warm welcome to World This Morning. It's time to rise and shine, wake and bake. Just get up, get your cup of tea and coffee and sit right in front of your TV screens because what we are going to talk about is quite to the PTV headquarters and they're sitting right next to us. So,
we're very
all right,
lucky.
let's introduce them.
So we've got Chris Netterkoffen, Michael Pfeiffer, and Harry Kirschenhofer. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
A very good morning.
Good morning.
It's been a long morning for you guys today.
A long ride back from the Karakorum highway, yes.
Okay.
Straight from the Karakorum highway.
Yeah.
How long does it take to be back?
This time it took us 1.5 days actually.
1.5 days, and you guys were driving by yourselves?
With a van, private van.
With a van, privately hired.
Yes.
Okay.
So what do you guys do? You guys go back to your countries, earn for yourself, and then you save a bit, and then you come and just spend it.
More or less, you get addicted to the beauty of Pakistan. So that's why I come back nearly every year. I'm really fascinated.
Yeah, that's what we are talking about for all our viewers. You know, we have got people from across the country who are fascinated by the beauty of Pakistan.
And across the world.
Yeah, and you know, even people of Pakistan need to step out because you guys are missing on too much.
Yeah. So what exactly, you came to do an expedition. So can we speak a bit about the expedition? What was it? How did the idea come about and how do you prepare for it?
Well, we've done expeditions the years before. We were also very lucky to climb with Samina Beg for another unclimbed mountain. So whenever you get into this beautiful area, you see so many mountains, and when you do some research, you find the next unclimbed mountains, and Pakistan still has to offer a lot of that.
Okay.
So then we did some calls of friends who would like to join. We called our Pakistani friend Mirza Ali of Ket Pakistan for logistic support. And even more important, we got some support from the German Alpine Club and Osprey, and we really want to thank them not only for trusting in us, but also trusting in the peaceful Pakistan.
Yeah.
In these more or less difficult times, we had some very nice support. So we had a beautiful expedition altogether.
And you know, talking about Samina Beg, can you add up to that, Maha? Samina Beg and Mirza Ali has been on our show too.
Yes, they have, exactly.
Yeah, so Samina Beg was the first ever lady from Pakistan who has been on
Mount Everest.
Yeah, very
Yes.
nice.
Why are you testing me?
Very well said. Just
I
like
remember.
that. Just for the feel of it.
Okay.
Right, so moving ahead, is it a difficult job?
It's a difficult job. It starts with the research and the planning, which Chris was doing extensive work, looking at the areas, finding which mountains have not previously been climbed before, whether they are possible also, because this is a major issue here.
Obviously, because you know there hasn't been anybody around, so
Exactly. And Karakorum has very many remote mountains, so they're difficult to get to. But after all this research, then we said, okay, let's go for this area and see if we can climb some of these mountains.
Great.
So we pinpointed 4 or 5 mountains which we wanted to climb, and then we went for it.
So what sort of research does it take? Because you know nobody has been on those mountains, so you know it's quite difficult to find the path towards the summit.
Just to clarify, because you specialize in climbing unclimbed and unnamed mountains, so
Exactly. Exactly.
How do you look for that? How do you locate your way towards this the top of the mountain?
There are different ways. First of all, of course, you talk to the local people, because for climbing, for big expeditions, you need porters. So you need locals to get to the mountain. So when you talk to them, they already know where they've been or where they've not been. Then you do research around the world for all those alpine clubs. They have books like annual reports about what mountain has been climbed or not. And then you have very nice people like Wolfgang Heichel. They are really fanatics about mountains. They write books, especially he's writing about the Karakorum range and documenting all the ascents. So when you talk with people like this, they also give you ideas. And if you combine everything, then you find those unclimbed mountains.
But
I have to say, there are still many unclimbed mountains, so Pakistan is very attractive for that.
Great.
So, and you'll be coming to Pakistan on and off, right? So since it's your 4th tour, it's your 2nd and it's your 1st, right? So you'll be coming all over again, right? For all those mountains which haven't been marked by anybody else. So you'll be there to mark them.
I fear we are back next year too.
Oh, great.
You will. So are you guys married?
Yes.
All of you?
So
I'm not married yet. No.
I'm not married now.
So isn't it difficult for you to leave your wife behind and come for such a daring sport?
It's a little bit hard, yes, for 1 month.
But then you just settle it down.
Yes.
That, all right, I'll be back. I'll get you gifts and I'll get something nice for you.
Yes.
But Harry, you have to tell that he didn't tell his parents because they're very scared for the big mountains.
Oh, okay.
So he told them he's climbing in the Alps.
Oh,
So when he
right.
gets back, I guess you're in trouble, Harry.
Because yeah, now you're on TV, so they're gonna find out.
And Maha, even adding up to that, for all our viewers who are tuned into PTV World right now, out of 14 highest mountains, we've got the 5 highest mountains over here in Pakistan, and they are like more than 8,000 meters high,
Yeah.
and people have been
They're called
over here in
8,000.
Pakistan.
Are they
yes.
part of the 8,000ers?
Yes, they are part of the 8,000ers.
And because when you're around people who are professional, you're like, you may know a fact, but then you start doubting yourself. Hold on, is this right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, but adding up to that, do you have to think about the law and order situation prevailing over here in Pakistan before coming?
Of course, that is a country like Pakistan, which is it has a lot of coverage in the media about the safety and the terrorists and all of these
And
things.
to be very honest, most of the time it's really not the way
that's
they
what-
project us.
Exactly. This is a lot of propaganda. This is a lot of media coverage, and the media loves sensational stories.
Exactly.
And previous to our trip, there was the Nanga Parbat incident.
Exactly.
Nanga Parbat is one of the 5 highest mountains in the world, 14 highest mountains in the world. And this is an area we pass on the way to the mountain we climbed. And I must say the security is excellent. We have not at any time felt unsafe. The people are very friendly, helpful, kind. There was, of course, enhanced
So
security.
above all, you guys didn't have any problem related
Nothing
to that.
at all. Nothing
Well,
at all.
and you know, talking about that, obviously for everybody who's tuned in right now, even the Pakistani government, all the Pakistani people, they do condemn the Nanga Parbat incident. And to add up to that, the DG Gilgit-Baltistan has actually got his hands on all those culprits who were involved in the Nanga Parbat incident, and they are being interrogated. They are under interrogation right now.
Exactly.
So that's
So-
quite a major step.
Because I think this is what it's showing, you know, people and the world, that one incident can't be used to classify everything here. So, you know, it's so good that you guys have come and, you know, you're speaking so
Yeah, and
positively.
to be very honest, you know, right after the incident, you guys arrived and you got a media coverage, and then you were all over TV. So it was like quite a positive effect for Pakistan and for all those people who were into Pakistan's tourism industry, and they got the hint that, you know, it's quite safe over here.
So what else? I mean, so you said you didn't feel any security threats, or, you know, you felt safe the whole time. When you were climbing up, I mean, how did you, if we're talking about security of the country, but how did it feel being on the actual mountains? Was it dangerous or
Thrilling.
like?
What sort of feeling is
I'm
it?
trying to understand how
Yeah.
it felt.
Climbing a mountain is always very thrilling. Of course, there is some safety issues, but if you're professional in your approach and you respect the safety issues with how you're using your rope and looking at the crevices on the glaciers, and not doing anything stupid, monitoring the weather, going for the summit push when there's good weather conditions. All of these factors is part of the expedition. It's so there's a lot of things
Okay.
to consider, and this requires teamwork.
Yeah.
And we have a very good team, so everyone has something to contribute.
Okay.
All right, now talking about the expedition itself. So, you know, how do you guys start off with the expedition? How is it at the base camp, and how do you guys move further? How is the communication? So how do you guys do all of that stuff?
Is there any
Just
communication with
tell
the
us,
rest?
because I have never ever been to such high mountains.
You need some communication also for as a safety device. So we had a satellite phone because in
Okay.
those remote areas you have no other connection.
Okay.
That is what you have to take.
Okay. So
But
no
what
internet.
about the food and the gear itself? And
Well,
for example, if the night is falling, so what do you guys do?
Well,
you guys
first
stay
of
over
all,
there?
you have a very long approach. You have to get to the mountain first. That alone is already an adventure because
But
normally
let's start from Islamabad. You guys arrived at Islamabad. Now you guys have to go to Karakorum highway, and then from all the way to the China border, and then you have to go to the base camp first,
Let me
right?
tell a
So
story.
just start your story off. You know, how did you guys do it?
So we arrived in Islamabad just over 1 month ago. These two from Germany and myself from Denmark. Then we drove immediately to the Hunza region. This takes 2 days. The next day we went to Shimshal. This is about 6 hours. The following day we started trekking. This is usually a 3-day trek, but we had some bad weather, so it took 4 days.
So how many miles, or kilometers?
The trek from Shimshal to the area is about 50 kilometers.
Wow.
And it's the racing altitude from 3,000 meters to about 4,700 meters, something like that. So then you have to establish the base camp. We have a cook, a lot of food supplies, equipments, helped by the local porters. And from the base camp we take a rest, and then we are investigating the area, because there is a glacier, there's some pretty hazardous terrain we have to cover. So we use 2 or 3 exploration days to check out the area. From here, after we've checked out the area, then we try to make a high camp, which is about 1,000 meters higher on the mountain. And this is a 1-day trek from the base camp. Pretty exhausting. And from there, then we start exploring actually the route from the base of the mountain to the top of the mountain. So there's a lot of exploration, there's a lot of talking. We take photographs and study the photographs and discuss how to do this and when to do it, when we're feeling physically ready. And the weather plays a part. So you have to be lucky. The health has to be in order, the acclimatization has to be good, the weather has to be good.
But there has to be some techniques to it, right?
Well,
So what
yeah,
are the
research-
most common techniques you use while you're climbing the mountains?
Technical techniques? Or
Yeah, technical techniques.
Yeah, when...
And how
when
do you guys make sure that you're going to stay healthy till the time you're going to make it to the top?
There's no guarantee.
Yeah.
Myself, I had 2 days in the base camp with a bad stomach. This can happen. Chris, unfortunately, he had to back out of the expedition because he became very sick with a sore throat.
That's very bad luck, can happen.
Yeah, okay.
This is the risk.
Okay,
This
yeah.
is the risk.
And that's what you love about it. Is it like
This side we don't love.
So what do you do? I mean, so you've done all the preparation, you've done all the research, and you get there, and then you fall ill. So then, what happens? Then
Well,
you don't climb, and
Even then, we are still very good prepared. We have a lot of medicine for most cases,
great.
actually. But this way was a throat infection for the
Yeah.
lungs.
okay.
And that takes longer. And the problem is that when you are in high altitude, it won't get better, it will get
Okay.
worse.
okay.
So the best thing you do then is to step back and go down. It's a
Right.
very hard decision because you planned 1 year, you practiced 1 year, this is all you wanted to do this year. But health comes first, so then you have to go down and hope to get better.
Okay.
But have you ever come across an avalanche while you're climbing?
Yes,
or something
of course,
like that.
yes,
So how
yes.
do you cater to that? It's like quite threatening,
No, but-
life-threatening indeed.
It is, but even this you are prepared for because you watch the mountain and avalanches don't come so unexpected. There are steep slopes and then you have to watch the weather. When it gets warmer, when there was a lot of snow coming, then the risk of avalanches rises. And even then you can choose ways to avoid those areas. Mountaineering is kind of dangerous, but we are no crazy people. We prepare very well and we have some experience. So you can avoid most risk actually.
So, but is it your hobby, your passion, your profession? What is it? How would you name it?
We are all hobby mountaineers, but Harry is a climbing instructor of the German
Okay.
Alpine Club. So I think
Right.
he's the most experienced of us.
So, Harry, why don't you share some of the climbing techniques with us? The most common, how can we stay fit while climbing the mountains?
Because I think you've got someone who wants to start climbing
Yeah,
mountains.
I want to start
he wants
that.
some advice.
I'm really
like,
inspired by you people.
how would you start getting fit for doing such a climb or expedition?
It's nothing better to, yes, you want to go climbing. You
Okay.
want to walk in the mountains. You start easily.
All right, what we can do is that, for all our viewers, very respectfully, since Harry is a German, it's quite difficult for him to speak English. So what you can do is that you can talk to your friend on your right-hand side, tell him in German the techniques, and then he'll translate it to, for all our viewers, to us then.
Ja, es ist langsam anfangen, dann immer mehr die Schwierigkeiten steigern und dann ja, die Techniken lernen, Ausbildung genießen, Kurse machen.
Eisklettern, Felsklettern.
Ja.
So Harry says you can start very slowly and prepare for the mountains. You need several aspects. One is your physical condition. You have to train a lot. The second one are the techniques. Then you have to prepare for rock climbing, ice climbing, and all those different techniques. And the third point, I think, is for security. all the rope techniques, how to belay, how to secure, if you have a crevasse fall, how to get your friend out of the crevasse,
Okay.
and all this. And like Harry is a professional in this case, he's a climbing instructor, so he knows best.
Well,
Excellent.
that's quite good because
Because
you
I
know.
used to, let me add to that, because in England, I used to, obviously in England, not in Pakistan.
off.
He thinks I show off every time I speak about England. But
The
I used to
entire
go,
Pakistan by now knows that you are from England, so it's perfectly all right. Please don't mention
they
it again.
don't. Anyway, so I used to do indoor wall climbing. So in comparison to that, because you have the, little things spread
The
out.
machinery and everything, yeah.
No, not machinery. Like you just tie a rope, safety
The rope
rope.
is tied to the machine, so if
No,
in
no, a
case you
person-
fall down, the machine will grab you itself.
No, a person holds the rope. It's like proper, you climb up a
Really?
wall, yeah. So that's completely different to mountain climbing, obviously. But do you do things like that? You have to put your hands in and...
Of course, this
Yeah.
is basic training, you have to
Oh,
do
okay,
this.
it is.
And everybody does that indoor climbing.
Okay, great.
The only difference is that in indoor climbing you have the nice colored grips and you
Yes.
always know where to put your hands and
Exactly.
feet. But when you're on rock, then you don't know anything. You have to find your own way. That is the
Okay.
difference. But it's a basic training and everybody has to do it. It's very
Okay,
good.
great.
But if in
excellent.
case, all of you are
I
tied
can
to...
teach you a little
yeah,
bit.
all of you are tied to a rope and, God forbid, if one of you slips, then it will definitely affect the two in front. So how would you cater to that then?
You have different safety systems belaying. When you're climbing in ice, you have ice screws. You can fix your stand in ice. And then you belay your partner who's climbing first. So if he falls, you hold the rope and he falls into the ice screws. And the same more or less for rock climbing. You have different belay systems and
Okay.
All right, so since we are running short of time, any last words, any messages for Pakistanis, for all your friends who are watching you right now?
And for the world, actually, more so for
Exactly.
people outside of Pakistan, because I think people in Pakistan already know, the situation here.
Well, firstly, we would like to say thank you to the Pakistani people for treating us so nicely. We feel very safe and secure in this country. Especially thankful to the Shimshali people who helped us achieve this mountain, which we called Gohi Gulistan. In the local language, this means the peak in the area of the flowers. So this was a great help. But generally, if you love the mountains, if you love the nature, then Pakistan really has something special to offer. This has a pristine nature, which is... I've not seen it so beautiful anywhere else. So
Thank you very much. We are definitely enlightened.
it's a wonderful country.
Thank you, that's great.
Moving on to you.
Yeah, I can only add to Michael that we felt very safe and very welcome. The Pakistani people are so warm-hearted. They invite you. You come to the last village and they invite you for chai and so hospitable. It's unimaginable. So I can only recommend the people in the West, especially, not to listen to the generalizing media, but just come and check it out yourself. You will be surprised.
Rather than spying on all of what is going on in the media, that there has been so much of negativity around over here. So there's nothing like that. We've got Michael, Harry and Chris with us on our show. But Harry, last words.
Also ich hoffe, dass ich noch oft nach Pakistan kommen kann und viele Berge besteigen kann.
Yeah. So Harry really enjoyed it very much, just the same way, and says he hopes to come back and to climb many mountains.
All right, stay with us because we're going for a short break and we'll be right back. Chris,
we're still
Harry and
recording.
Michael are with us on the shows, and we'll be talking about mountains and what sort of techniques can we use to climb them. And,
We already spoke about that, but we'll discuss other things when we come back from the break.
all right, but
Because
thank
I'm
you
gonna
very much for
explain
being
it
with
to him.
us. And it was lovely having you guys. But for all those who are coming to Pakistan, we love you people and we'll always be like that. We are a hospitable nation. Stay with us. We're going for a short break. Take care.